Welcome guys, just math y'all. Here we are with a Cal 1 video, my first Cal 1 video. And we're going to do a few more examples from class today. We did not get to do as many as we wanted to, so we're going to do a few more examples from class today. 2.3 is technically the section that we are in. We covered 2.1, skipping 2.1 for right now. And then 2.2 and 2.3 we did in class. So we're finding limits. Step one, you're going to just plug stuff in. You're just going to plug stuff in to see if it works. If you can plug it in, that's the limit. That works for lines, it works for polynomials, it works for some rationals, it works for some piecewise functions. So first thing you ought to do is try to plug it in. If it works, great, that's your answer. If it doesn't work when you try to plug it in, then that's where we have the problem. Okay, when you try to plug it in and it doesn't work, then we've got to do something different. And so what are we going to do different? Well, that'll depend on what we're dealing with. So here we go on this first problem here. So this first problem, we have 2x minus 1 squared minus 9. And when I try to plug in 1 over, negative 1, when I try to plug that in, I get a 0 in the denominator, and that's the problem. So I've got to do something with this function. Well, my gut is telling me, why don't you just FOIL this out? Why don't you go ahead and multiply that out? So if I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out, and let's see what happens. So that's going to give me 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 minus 9. All right, if you need to do that on scratch paper, do it. Stop the video and get that. Which is going to give me 4x squared minus 4x minus 8. All right, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to factor it. Factor out the 4. That's going to give me x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so again, like I said, we're just doing something. And I'm going to keep factoring. Let's see. An x there and an x there and a minus 2 and a plus 1. And voila, there we go. What happened? Well, when I got that numerator all factored out, I have a common factor of x plus 1. So that divides out, or some people say it cancels. And then that's going to give me 4 over times x minus 2. Well, I can plug negative 1 in now. Now I can plug negative 1 in. So now I'm going to take negative 1 and plug it in. I couldn't do it before, but now I can. And so when I plug it in, I'm going to get negative 3 times 4, which is negative 12. So my official answer is going to be negative 12. So this will be 4 times negative 1 minus 2. So that's 4 times negative 3, which is negative 12. So my limit of this function is going to be negative 12. So again, if you can plug it in, great. If you can't, you've got to do something. All right? So let's look at the second one. I can't plug in 4. I already know I can't plug in 4. So if I try to put a 4 there, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do something, and I can factor this. Just like I did before, I can take my numerator, and I recognize that as a difference of squares. But this time it doesn't really cancel like I want it to. And this is one of those things that when I came across this problem, I said, I've got to show them this, because my teacher never did this, and I was really upset. This doesn't cancel like normal, but it does cancel. These are what we call opposites. And so this is actually going to make not a 1 like we saw here. It's going to make a negative 1. That's going to be a negative 1. And so what this is going to give me is this expression here, which is a negative 1 times x plus 4 over 1. Okay, and I don't need the over 1. And so now, can I plug in 4 here? Absolutely. Now I've got it simplified. I can plug in 4. So it's going to be negative 1 times 4 plus 4, which is 8. So it would be negative 8. And that's my answer for that one. All right, so now this third one, again, I'm just trying to see what I can do here on this third one. This third one, can I plug in negative 2? Of course, this is a polynomial. You can always plug in. So for this one, I'm just going to plug in. That's all you've got to do. So when I plug in negative 2 in for x, I'm going to get 3 times 16 plus 8 plus 7. Okay, so that's going to be 48 plus 15, which is 63. 63. So this one's limit is 63. So you try to plug in if you can, you do. If you can't, you've got to do something else. All right, I'm going to do some more examples in a few minutes. So hold tight, check back in a little while. There'll be another video in a few minutes.